Good evening, respected ones. Another interesting topic from educational psychology or psychology of learning and teaching. Nothing else but discovery learning theory by Jerome S. Bruner. Before talking about discovery learning theory, we have to look at different educational concepts put forth by Bruner. So let's have a look. According to Bruner, there are three systems of processing information. And this concept of three systems of processing information by Jerome S. Bruner is like the concept of genetic epistemology put forth by Piaget. So we can just look at these three systems of processing information by Jerome S. Bruner. According to Bruner, these three systems of representation, processing information are inactive representation, iconic representation, and symbolic representation. We can look at these varieties in detail. This inactive representation is from birth to 1 year. And this is a way of representing past events through appropriate motor response. According to Bruner, during this stage of life, children are not able to analyze different things mentally. So they remember past events through some motor response. For example, when a child sees his mother in a particular style of walking or in a particular style of coming to the child, then it will recognize that his mother is coming for breastfeeding the child. So through motor responses, he or she recognizes different things. For example, the child cries at times, and then the mother comes and gives him food or something like that. Then the child will recognize that if he cries, his mother will come. So everything is represented by through appropriate motor response during this during this stage of life, and this is known as inactive representation. So this is called by Bruner as inactive representation. The second system is iconic representation, and this is from first year to 6 years, between the age of 1 and 6 years. And during this stage of life, you can see perception of things and events as separate images and ideas. And this is a concept by Piaget too. Piaget told that this would be there from birth to 2 years. Perception of things and events as separate images and ideas. And here, idea also comes there. Yeah. The child looks at the pictures and he realizes that, or she realizes that objects are different objects. and the child also starts making use of words and sentences for representing images and events. So this is called iconic representation. The child starts learning words and sentences, making use of words and sentences for conveying his ideas. And the last one is symbolic representation. Sorry. And this is 7 years onwards. And according to Bruner, this is where information is stored in the form of a code or symbol, such as language. This is the most adaptable form of representation, for actions and images have a fixed relation to that which they represent. So this is something contradictory to the concept of Piaget. According to Piaget, the logical thinking starts only after 11 years or 12 years. But here, according to Bruner, the child starts thinking in a logical manner when he or she becomes 7 years old. And on the basis of this concept, nowadays we have started teaching first standard and second standard students to some complicated items by using long sentences. So this is symbolic representation. So this shows that you have to start giving contemporary issues or presenting contemporary issues before your students when they become second standard students or third standard students. So these are three systems of processing information according to Jerome S. Bruner. Then he also introduced the concept of four major themes. And here, Bruner believed that learning should be systematic. And he believed that structure has got great importance or an inevitable role in the process of learning. According to Bruner, you have to teach the structure of different items so that to make the learners learn themselves. If you look at the four major pillars of education declared by UNESCO, you will see that the first pillar of education is learning to know. And this learning to know is a concept borrowed from the discovery learning put forth by Jerome S. Bruner. He thought that if you teach the systematic structure of learning different topics, different subjects, then learners will learn more and more without having the help of any other person. So there should be the structure has got some importance. If you teach a language, you have to teach the structure. If you teach science, then you can teach the structure of science. If you teach mathematics, just teach them the structure, the basic elements. Then importance of readiness for learning. According to Bruner, readiness is something important. You have to be able to create interest in your students and make them ready for learning. That means you have to teach them the basics. Only after teaching the basics, they will be ready for learning something new. So the teacher's duty is that he or she should create readiness in the students. Only after ensuring that they are ready for learning, you can teach something. Then the nature of intuition. And Bruner believed that intuition is something important. See, intuitive knowledge is a type of knowledge which we gain from some unknown world. According to Bruner, students should be encouraged to think themselves by using their own previous knowledge, their own logical thinking capacity. And at times, they may be getting some knowledge from some unknown world. Let them let them think about different aspects of this universe. Then you can see that they would create their own knowledge. Then the fourth one is the desire to learn and how it may be stimulated. You cannot teach anything if the learners are not interested in learning. So there should be desire to learn. And the teachers should be able to stimulate some desire in learners by using different techniques. And these are four themes or four educational aspects of Bruner's concept. And on the basis of these four aspects, on the basis of these four concepts, on the basis of these four ideas, he introduced a new learning theory called discovery learning. Bruner's definition of discovery was not restricted to the act of finding out something that before was unknown to mankind, but rather all forms of obtaining knowledge for oneself by the use of one's own mind. He further stated that there are powerful effects that come from permitting the student to put things together for himself, to be his own discoverer. When you hear the term discovery, it does not mean to invent something new, but to learn something already learned by others in one's own manner. For example, if you are teaching the meaning of the word fascinating, if you are teaching the meaning of the word fascinating, fascinating means attractive. Actually, the meaning of the word fascinating is discovered by someone else. But when you teach this item to your students, you can create a feeling in the mind of the learner that he is discovering the meaning of that word. How? You just give him a sentence or a passage in which the word is there. And you are not teaching the meaning of the word, just like this. There is a new word, fascinating. The meaning of that word is attractive. Instead of doing that, you just read the passage and you just tell him or tell them that the meanings of the new words are at the end of the lesson. Then they will go and they will discover the meaning. So here you are creating a feeling in the mind of the learner that he himself is discovering the knowledge. And for the purpose, the teacher's duty is to teach the basics. And from these basic elements of knowledge, learners should explore new meadows of knowledge and discover those pieces of knowledge. So itself, Bruner told teaching is not teaching the content, but teaching is teaching how to learn. And from this concept of how to learn, UNESCO's first pillar of education came into existence, that is, learn to know. When you teach science, you just teach the basics of learning scientific theories and let them know new scientific theories themselves by thinking, by analyzing, by making use of their previous knowledge. And this is a type of construction of knowledge. And there is a difference between social constructivism and this discovery learning. In social constructivism, according to Vygotsky, there should be interaction among the students, different students. And only when there is socio-cultural interaction, the construction of knowledge occurs according to Vygotsky, and his theory is known as social theory of social constructivism. But here the construction is individual. Each and every person will think about something and construct some knowledge or reach some conclusion, discovery. Each person becomes a discoverer. And that is the magic of discovery learning. And this is a fantastic concept introduced by Jerome S. Bruner. And Bruner's spiral curriculum is another innovative concept. According to Bruner, a curriculum should be in a spiral nature. It begins with the basics and simple ideas, emphasizes the intuitive grasp of ideas, revisits the basic ideas repeatedly, deepening the ideas. So I tell you, for example, if you teach mathematics, you are not teaching a particular mathematical concept, the whole mathematical concept in the first standard. In the first standard, for example, addition. You will teach addition of normal numbers, or you will teach addition of one digit numbers, single digit numbers in the first standard. Then you will stop there. Then you will start subtraction of one digit number. So basic ideas will be taught first. Then in the second standard, you will start addition of two digit numbers. And at the same time, revisit the basic ideas repeatedly. At the same time, you will come back and you will think about the addition of one digit number. And this is spiral curriculum. You just look at the concept. Actually, according to Bruner, if you teach the basic ideas first, then the complicated items will be learned by the learners themselves. So during the each year, just teach them the basic ideas, then something advanced, then a little more advanced, then a little more advanced. And by using such a methodology, you can gradually or systematically create the capacity to learn something, or to the capacity to discover more without the help of others in your learners. So this is spiral curriculum. You are arranging the topics on the you are not arranging the topic a topic in the syllabus in a manner that you will be teaching the whole item together. But you will be teaching the basic items of different concepts in a particular standard. Then in the next standard, you will teach something advanced of the same topics. And this is Bruner's spiral curriculum. So these are some ideas put forth by Jerome S. Bruner. I think you have got a thorough idea on Bruner's concept of education now. So I just want to stop here. Thank you.